Welcome to Gerald-Johan vanoise educational channel. I will continue in this series. I will talk with more examples of the theory and its method, which is called sound in form. Thanks to this method you can learn the meaning of sounds, you can learn how to combine the rebus, and you come to the meaning of the underlying meaning of the words, thanks to the expression of it into meaningful forms. There's a method for it, you can learn it, you can learn it intuitively, and maybe the examples of what I show you will already get you into the essence of it. So the last video I was emphasizing the form. After the words you change it into a form, so I only focused onto the form. Here I will focus a little bit more onto the meaning of these sounds. And in the last video I also accidentally used the word sun, and I only expressed the meaning of the letter A in the middle, which is that neutral point there in the middle, which fitted very well with the word sun. But I didn't explain how you can understand the full word and why it is expressed in this form. And because of this, maybe this question will come around, and therefore I will choose a couple of words that are a little bit similar, and I will show the difference between the words sun, sin, son and san. And I will look up meanings of these words, and they will fit with what the words are about. So the first word sun, so we already expressed the middle point there, it's a neutral point, but what is surrounding there, the circle, is more the effect of the inner neutral point, so the effect, the outer effect. So what does it mean then? The sun, the is the expression of the sound, it's written U. So U, it is more a content which is there, so you're going to a content of a neutralized center leading to a useful element or content at the outer circle. Anyway, you can say it is a kind of symbol of the effect that gives a neutral gravity point, and it is more used like a symbol, and everything has that neutral center, but everything is connected to it. For all the outer effects are connected to it. You see these S's like the sun rays. Okay, you can imagine the outer circle like that as well. It's not necessary, but it helps you because we know the S form as it is expressed over there. And I also expressed in the latest video that if you would express the middle point a little bit differently, instead of a point, and you would stretch it just like the E form and into the whole area of what it is, that meaning that it's that you give it a full new perspective and that you focus onto this perspective, it will remind you much more easily to the word sin. And the sin in that way is an inner identification with this outer effect, as if this is given an important value that you want to use, and therefore, and that is one of the meanings of sin. Sin is using a complete identification with all the effects that something can have without even that it has an inner reflection of anything. The reflections themselves are its own center. Different is sun. The sun is the O. It derives, so it's only one of the rays goes to one of the areas, so the sun, so the big picture leads to a small picture of the sun. So it's the first example of a further derivative or effect that comes out of it. The sun is like the father, after the father of which is the sun. Sun comes the sun. The son of the sun here in this case. With the letter A, it will focus onto a new a new center with its own center point of vision. So after the effect S, it will lead to a leading and useful content, the A followed by the N, and this makes it a very effective and useful intermediate, so you can see the effect that goes into the center, and this same effect goes further into a result. It becomes a leading derivative of the effects, and all the effects they can have its own effect. So what comes in can come out completely. That's more the word san, one of the meanings of the word san, but I will explain it a little bit better in the next image. So san can be the first origin or the first derivative, the symbolic representation of a neutral point or a center point, which with the word sun becomes a further derivative, a direct representation of it, while with the word san it goes even further, it becomes a leading derivative. Now there are a few words which refers to the word sun. One of the examples is san or saint it means holy. Exactly the same meaning, or almost the same meaning, is used in Japan as an addition to persons, as a kind of form of respect, with the word san added to a name. And how does it come? It's also the word, the Japanese is also the word 3, so the number 3. Now if you analyze the words of Japanese and Chinese, there's a system in it, and this system I analyzed very much into my book. And here you can see then the S is all the what comes from all the idealizations that has their effect on you, on everything what happens. So that's the top arrow there. That's all the idealizations come to a certain point where you can do something with it, with a functional region, and this region has this as its effect. So if this works very well, it makes you a respectful person, because you can make the idealizations work very well and make them into practice. That's more or less the word san, which is about. So it's the energy comes in and comes out, and it's fluently directed into a new direction most of the time. So that's one of these meanings of san. But I found a few more meanings. One of the other meanings I found is there is a letter, a Greek letter, which isn't used much, and it looks like the M, but actually it has the expression of the sound S. And if you look into the middle there, it is more or less the mass of the M, so it looks like it, but what is happening there is not the mass which is moving, but it's the energy which is coming in and coming out, the effects coming in and the effects coming out, the S of the effects. So it is indeed exactly the same meaning which is happening there. This M isn't used in mathematics, but the other S, which is M upside down, is used also in mathematics, and it's quite interesting because it's the way how they use it. They could have used this for certain reasons as well, but I'm not going deeper into that today. And another thing I found is the San is also a river somewhere in Poland, so it even fits in its form as an intermediate area very well. So there's a flow or direction coming in, and there's one again flowing out into with a certain effect into a different direction. So it fits also a bit accidentally, but it fits with that word San, so why not? This is just one of the examples that you can analyze words and you can learn to understand them. So I just compared sun, sin, sun and san, just as an example, with just small differences. All the meanings change completely, but you can still understand it, what's happening there, if you understand the meaning of the sounds. I hope this was more or less clear. But it was a bit accidental as well that I took these words. I didn't work much on them, but I hope I give another example that proves that this method to understand words is workable, it's useful. Once you start to work with it, it goes almost automatically, and it doesn't take much time. For me, at least, it doesn't make much time to make these drawings and meanings. But if you really want to learn it, it's best that you check the book out. It's over 600 pages. It's in two parts. The first part is a theory. The second part is how it's you can use it in scripts and in scripts mostly. It's out on Trafford. You can find it there. Thanks for watching. You can see also that there's a website and there's of course a YouTube channel. Of course. Thank you for watching.